Here we go again. Okay, y'all, we had storms this weekend. They did not determine that it was a tornado, but people were in areas that they said, I don't care what the weatherman said, I witnessed this, and we had many tornadoes. There were crazy things happening at Lake Lanier. There were crazy things happening in Nelson, in Tate, in Jasper, in Ellijay, in Ball Ground, which I always laugh and say, you know, Ball Ground's never been hit by a tornado. This weekend, Ball Ground's they lost so many huge, big oak trees. This wasn't one of those storms that took down the pine trees that are a little bit weak. It took down the mighty oaks, and it took down huge mighty oaks. And we're going to share some photos. We're also going to share a video. Now, this video came from some folks who were visiting from Arizona. They have an amazing son who plays baseball, and they were here to see him play, and he's a pitcher, and he's a good one. And I think it should be our duty now as viewers to watch this kid as he grows and becomes all he can be in baseball pitching, because he's pretty awesome. So we're going to share some of that with y'all, but we are going to share this tree that hit below Miss Vicky's house. Here sits her house, and it's like 8 houses away from Malone's Pond. There sits her house, and there was this huge, beautiful oak behind her house. The tree split in two. That storm came through there, and it took down, this is probably one of the biggest and most beautiful oak trees in North Georgia, and this storm took that tree. It's so sad because you could see it, you know, if you go to the drone shots or you go to the mapping and you look at the mapping and you're looking for different areas, that tree always stood out like this mighty, mighty tree. That mighty, mighty tree is in pieces now, and it's so sad. She said it was like a bomb went off in her house. I can only imagine. I can only imagine being that close to that tree as it tumbled. But so many places were hit, and over 200,000 people were without power in Georgia. A lot of people, 21 to 27 to 29 hours, and that's tough. But if you think you're having a tough time sitting in the dark at your house with candles burning, think about the power guys, think about the line guys, think about the people answering the phones to get those line guys dispatched to certain areas. Sadly, there was one fatality in Georgia where a tree fell on a gentleman in his car. That is the scary part. There are still trees that are weak, and so if you're out and about, please be cautious and kind of look around yourself, because there'll be limbs still falling. There'll be trees still uprooting because the soil is wet, and guess what's happening today? Between 5 and 10 p.m. tonight, more storms are coming. So be safe, get your little plan and your routine for your family, and I think people now are looking more at storm shelters than ever, because it's been a strange, early, weird spring. Now, we have some photos we're going to share with y'all. And one of them is actually of the what was left of our business after the tornado of Palm Sunday hit. And sadly, that one killed 12 people. I believe it was 12 people. It was a really, really, really bad tornado. The things that happened this weekend, they still keep saying these were not tornadoes. It was about as bad as I would ever want to live through or get involved in. I was so smart. I had gone to pick up this food. This is a ribeye steak that they were so big and so juicy and so good. It ended up making 3 meals out of these 2 steaks, because I was sitting in my car during the storm at Dominic's. I'd called and placed the order early in the day because I didn't know the storm was coming. And so I jump in my car and the sun's out, but the wind starts kicking up. And by the time I get there, and I changed my time, I upped it a little bit so I could get it done faster, because I could see the wind blowing. Now, that's that huge oak tree behind Miss Vicky's. Is that not the saddest thing? It's split in half. I mean, it's crazy, because that tree was truly, we hear about the mighty oak, that thing was absolutely gorgeous. And then there's another huge tree down on Flat Bottom and Ball Ground that's down. And so in the Conscript area, now this, y'all, this is me. I'm half city and I'm half country. The city part is quickly giving in to the country part. Ribeye steak, creamed potatoes, fried okra, and creamed corn. That's about as goofy a meal as you could have. But I love, my whole thing, if I were on death row and they said, what do you want your last meal to be? Fried okra and creamed corn. I love fried okra with creamed corn. That's just my thing. I just absolutely love it. And so I took the ribeye steaks and sliced them up in little pieces and added peppers and onions to it, and then fried me some okra, and oh Lord have mercy, there ain't nothing like fried okra. So my city slicker part came out, I wanted a ribeye, and my country bumpkin part came out, and I had to have those good old country vegetables. So, you know, you do what works for you. You do what works for you, and I hope that y'all's gardens withstood this storm, because the wind damage and the mud and the rain and the crud, and bless us. And over in Dawson County, a lot of destruction, Homes were hit. Now that, it kind of looks like I burned a piece of okra, but I ate it and it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't really burned. But there's something about fried okra. If you've got a garden now, I watched my okra like a hawk because I couldn't wait till it came in. It's one of those things that just, it screams, I'm Southern and I love good food. And some people will say, well, I wouldn't touch okra. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Now, this is a flashback. I've been going through old pictures and old discs and old CDs and looking, and I found this. This is the day that Eric Rudolph was captured in Murphy, North Carolina. And it's so crazy. Well, it was between Murphy and Andrews. And it's so crazy because that was Ross Cavett up there. And I realized many years ago this was when I saw how young my son was, and he was a young kid. And we were up there waiting and watching, and we actually, y'all, this is crazy. We sat outside the jail for hours waiting on them to transfer Eric Rudolph. They didn't transfer him until the wee morning hours, so we didn't get to see that transfer. But it was very interesting because it was one of those things. He had defied all odds. He had been on the run for a long time. And they say that mountain folk helped him and that they fed him and they helped him find shelter. I don't know if that's true or not. But it was interesting because when they did finally find him, he happened to be going through a dumpster behind a building, and it just was one of those odd things. Now this is because the 10th of June is my late husband's birthday. When we had Sherry's Iron Skillet, occasionally we'd get so busy that we'd run out of dishes. And I would be screaming, we're out of monkey dishes, we're out of this, we're out of that. And the dishwasher was overwhelmed by it, and so JS jumped in to help one day. And that's kind of my favorite picture of him, because he came in, had on his uniform from trucking, and I said, grab an apron and wash us some dishes, and he did. So happy heavenly birthday to you tomorrow. And happy heavenly birthday to sweet, precious Joyce Bryson. She would have celebrated her birthday yesterday. We all celebrate her life, and we celebrate what she meant to us, and I know what she meant to me. I probably wouldn't have made it in television this long had Joyce not been my mentor, and she was, and she told me what to do, and she told me how to do it, and she was just the best. Loved her, loved her, loved her. This is growth. Y'all, this is so crazy. That little baby goose is only about 9 weeks old, and look at how they grow so fast. But they are protected by their parents. And I said, if we could learn anything in the world, go watch a family of geese as they raise their children. They do an amazing, amazing job. They protect them, they feed them, they give them security, and they're pretty awesome parents. So that is at Malone's Pond, and that photo was taken by Eric Rank, who is an amazing photographer. He does a lot of sports photography, and he's often at the Braves Stadium, and you will see some of his work. Now, this is what was left of our business. This building was a couple 100 feet long, and the rest of the building is gone. That's all that was left, and that happened to be our offices. So tornadoes are serious. They are deadly. They are serious. Make sure you're insured completely. Make sure you have all the insurance you need and the correct coverage, because we are approaching storm season. And when the storms come, After it hits you, it's too late to get more insurance. So pick up your phone, call your insurance agent and say, hey, I need to do a recap and look at everything and see what do I need to cover myself. And you need to cover yourself. Now, we also have a short video of one of the lines that caught on fire. And when everybody was kind of getting angry because, oh, my power's not still on, and oh this and oh that, these guys out in the field were facing some pretty traumatic stuff. And there were huge trees down, there were live wires everywhere. It was a very dangerous situation, and they were doing all they could as they could. So they finally got it. Have we got that video of that line that was on fire? Can we do that? Yeah. Now this is just a happens that happened. Some people had been on a hiking trip, and this is their video. And they just came off the hiking trail, drowned in wet, and this is what they saw before them. And it was lines getting struck by lightning, and that is crazy. And when you watch it, I cannot even imagine being there when this happened, because they thought the fire was out, and then all of a sudden it starts up again. That's very scary, so please be aware of downed lines. And again, today, tomorrow, we have more storms coming in, and so prepare yourself, prepare yourself. And that video is courtesy of some folks that are the parents to an amazing young pitcher. And I'm going to challenge y'all, if you like baseball, follow this pitcher. His name is Jackson Maxey, and it's Jackson Maxey. He is a 6'2" pitcher. He's from Arizona, and wouldn't it be wonderful to see him on the mound at the Braves? Because right now, the Braves need some help. I don't know what's going on, but when you lose 7 games in a row and you were the #1 team for several years, what is happening? So Jackson, would you please go and help them out? They need some help. So this kid, he's gonna go to college at Arizona State University. He went to a Christian school, and his parents were in town following his baseball career. That's what it takes. Be a good parent and produce a good kid. They traveled across the country so this kid can play baseball. That's pretty awesome. That's what good parents do. So when you think about your kid has a dream, help them follow that dream, whether it's being an artist or a musician. And I know a lot of parents have said, oh my gosh, my kid can't play the flute, but they think they can, or they can't play the guitar, but they think they can, or they can't play this, can't play that, but they think they can. Let them keep trying until they figure it out. And early enough, they'll finally say, you know, maybe that's not for me. But if they're good at it, encourage them. And that's what we should do as parents. Now, speaking of parents and speaking of good people, if you need some bedroom furniture, I have a friend who has a couple of bedroom suites that need to be sold. These are it's older furniture in amazingly good condition. 2 full bedroom suites, and they need to sell them. They are in Kennesaw, Georgia, and they are helping parents to relocate because the parents need to be near somebody who loves them and cares for them, and that would be their daughter and precious son-in-law. You know, when you get this son-in-law and you put him up here to the standards, this one, his standards are like here, because he is the get her done, make it happen, make sure everything is the way it should be. That's the kind of son-in-law you want to get. And if your daughter brings in a bad one, oh my, if you have these standards to look for, just make sure you get a good one. But again, these bedroom suits, they're not very expensive because they are ready to move and they need to get them out of the house. So please pick up the phone and you can call me at 404-375-0590, and it's 2 full bedroom suits. So in very, very good condition. There's somebody out there who can use them, and we'd love to see somebody get them. So today we're going to share something. Dawn's birthday's in a couple of days, and you know, when you lose a family member like Dawn lost Angela, Dawn still deals with holidays are not fun, birthdays are not fun. We have to create some happiness. And so one of the happiest Heart of the Homes we ever did was when Angela and Tori were there, and we did a chocolate cinnamon cake. That chocolate cinnamon cake is so yummy, and it was Doreen Lee's recipe. So this weekend, I kind of went through Heart of the Homes, and I found some that really made me smile. And I think about when Angela first came in with this spinach chicken recipe, and I said, where did that come from? And she said, well, my mother-in-law did it. And so I don't know if it's an original recipe by our mother-in-law or if it's something she came up with, but it's chicken and spinach. And if you're doing something to impress somebody and they like chicken and spinach, they will love this recipe. And it's simple. It's simply yummy too. So we're going to share those with you. Get your kids in the kitchen and teach your kids to cook. It amazes me at how many people cannot boil water. And I hear it all the time. No, I can't cook. No, I can't cook. Never learned to cook. You got to learn to cook. So summer is here, grandmas. Teach your kids to cook. Teach them to go to the garden and what vegetables are so easy to do, like frying squash. That's such a simple, you can't mess that up. Well, you can. I've seen some people do it. But squash, make squash casseroles, fry it, make squash pickles. Squash is one of those things that it's so easy to fool with. You can do all kinds of things with it. So teach them to grow it, teach them to cook it, teach them to preserve it, and someday they'll come back around and say, my granny made me who I am in the kitchen today, and my granny definitely made me who I am in the kitchen today, because y'all know it's got to be simple, southern, and scrumptious, and that's what I do. I don't like all these complicated recipes. I don't like things that you have to run to the store and look for 40 ingredients, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll never find that. So keep it simple and keep it yummy. And it's like me, took the leftover ribeyes, sliced them up, put some peppers and onions with it, and then made my favorite, creamed corn and fried okra. Y'all, do you not just love that? It's so good. So that's one of those things, and that's because I learned it from the basics and from my grandma. Waste not, want not. Eat your leftovers, create a new meal out of your leftovers, and you can do it. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to do some Heart of the Homes, and we're going to do, Trace has loaded a bunch more of Mr. Ellijay's new music. Did y'all know that we are very close to a full CD of only originals? It will have Daddy's Lunchbox on it. It will have Mountain Life. It will have I've Been Wrong Before. It'll have Southern Lights. It's going to have all my favorite songs on it, and they're all original, produced right here in Ellijay, Georgia, by nobody less than Mr. Ellijay. We'll be back in just a minute.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Free game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
See us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories. Writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Okay, got something I got to share with y'all. Now, usually I was really picky about my kids, and I had to dress them certain ways, and they had to, you know, their face had to always be clean, their hair had to be brushed, Little perfect minions running around, which is a joke because they're not. But Xana is her own person, and we are learning that. And I don't know where she gets that attitude. Y'all might think she gets it from me. She might get it from me. But she is so independent. She is so much fun, and she is so sweet. And if you have not seen the video of her asking the rain to go away, she's really getting serious with the rain song now because she's tired of rain. We're all tired of rain. We need the rain, but oh my goodness, we've had enough of it. Well, we took Xana to Dominic's because we all love Dominic's. We just love Dominic's. We love what they stand for. We love that they have a prayer meeting there on every other Tuesday night. We love this family, and we love their food. So we took Xana there, and by the time she had got eaten some pizza and eaten this and eaten that, her face was filthy. Her hair was a mess. And she and I were sitting down, and there's a cross sitting on the table where you can leave your prayer request. And so I just asked Xana about Jesus, and here you go. This is what you get to see.
Get my food.
What do you say to Jesus?
Please help me, Jesus.
Help me, Jesus. Do you say thank you, Jesus?
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. What did you learn in church Sunday?
Huh?
Did you learn something in church Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah. Sit still. And what did you learn? What did you learn? Huh? Xana, come here. What did you learn? Did you learn to say thank you, Jesus?
Ow, ow.
Huh?
Huh?
Did you learn to say thank you, Jesus?
Uh-oh.
Are you being wild today? Just a little bit? Hold still. Hold still. All I can say is y'all ask Jesus to help her mama because that kid is so funny. She is so independent. She is so into everything. She will get out and dig worms with you. She will work in the garden with you, or she'll go to church with you. She doesn't care. She's so independent. She's so into everything. She is, we call her our chunky monkey, and she is a chunky monkey. She is something else. So you'll be seeing more of Xana because we are learning that she just walks up and she just talks to people. She'll just come in, and she walked in the model home one day, and she took this, one of our friends was there, and she took her hand and walked her around and showed her everything in the house, and she just loves people. She's a people person, and I don't know where she gets that, do y'all? I reckon. So today we're going to take you to two of my favorite people, Angela and Tori, obviously mom and daughter. It's been a while since Angela left us. It's still tough on Tori. It's still really tough. And there's pain, there's sorrow, and there's anger because of the way she ended her life. And it's something we've had to accept. I was talking to somebody this weekend about suicide. And suicide is that death that's unexplainable. Everybody around them says, why couldn't I stop them? Why couldn't I not let this happen? Why didn't I see this coming? And you blame yourself. You know, you blame yourself. You take all the heat yourself and you blame yourself. And we're going to watch these videos, and I'm going to read you something that I found this weekend, and it was kind of interesting because I thought, that's the truth. We all deal with it, and however we have to deal with it. And sometimes we shut down. Sometimes we get extremely busy. Sometimes we look back and think of people that encouraged us, and that helps us. And Joyce Bryson is one of those people. I can remember my birthday was the day that Angela left this world. And Joyce Bryson set in to have a birthday party for me a month later because I wouldn't talk about anything for me for a long, long time. And then Joyce and Pauline and a whole bunch of us got together up in Blue Ridge, and we had a wonderful lunch. We had laughter, and it was good to laugh again, because if you're facing something traumatic and you're dealing with something that's so hurtful, you just have to come back, and you can't give up on yourself. So I know so many people out there are facing bad things. When I look at these videos, I'm so thankful that I have all this. Record your family, record your friends, keep them in your heart, but don't let it destroy you. And I came very, very close. I came very close. And if I hadn't had all the jobs I have, and if I hadn't had the television to do, if I hadn't had your support, I probably wouldn't have made it through the death of my daughter. But I did. I did. And I'm so thankful, because I can give you words of encouragement. It won't ever go away, but it will get better. It will get better. And there will be days that you will be able to smile, you will be able to laugh, you will be able to think about them, and you will say, yeah, there's a reason, and it is God's perfect plan. And so we live with that. Here we go to Heart of the Home.
I'm Sherry Martin. Tonight on Heart of the Home, I promised you a rich, rich recipe, and wow, is it rich. I've been eating this cake for about 30-something years. You were 2 years old.
No, because I'm only 29.
Well, okay. My daughter Angela was only 2 the first time I had this cake. Gosh, does that make me or you old?
Neither one.
Okay, neither one. It is a rich recipe. This was submitted by Doreen Lee. She's from Kankakee, Illinois. And she got the recipe from, I think, a junior league cookbook there many, many years ago. Rich, rich, rich chocolate cinnamon cake. Rich and good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I made my first one last week, and Angela's going to go over the ingredients for you.
There are 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of butter, a 1/4 cup baking cocoa, 1 cup water, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Now, if y'all have been tuning in to Heart of the Home, we all know I'm not much at measuring. Now, we're going to add, we are actually measuring, aren't we? We measured today.
We
I
don't
never
do that.
measure. Well, we're measuring today because this cake is pretty precise, and we need to measure this. Okay, Angela, we have combined 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. We sifted that, and now we're melting our cup of butter with our cocoa and our water. We're going to let that melt good, and then we're going to pour it over the dry ingredients, and then we're going to add our buttermilk and our cinnamon and our vanilla and our eggs.
And our soda.
Tiny bit of soda, tiny bit of salt. It's going to be ready to bake. This is a simple recipe using plain flour.
And the chocolate's already smelling so good.
Oh man, this chocolate smells great. This is what makes this cake rich. Butter and chocolate, kind of like a man with a 401k and a state retirement. Now,
And
that's
an
pretty
out-of-town hobby.
Oh my gosh, that's rich. That's rich. Now this is what, a 10 by 15 pan?
Sure.
It's a little bit larger than normal, and that's the size pan that this recipe requires. It's going to be in the oven for 30 minutes or until a toothpick put in comes out dry. Do not overbake it. My first one, I did overbake it, so watch it closely. Now this rich, rich recipe for our icing is, Angela, the amount of butter is 1 cup of butter, 1 bag of 10x sugar,
1/4 cup of cocoa,
1/4 cup of cocoa.
6 tablespoons of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla,
That's it.
boil it in a saucepan.
That is it, guys, and it is so simple, and you pour it over the cake hot. Man, I think this deserves the rich and powerful. Ooh, man, it's good. These walnuts came from Harris Farm, and they're big chunks of walnuts. You can use pecans, you can use walnuts. I just happen to have a ton of walnuts we picked up out on the ground and shelled. Oh, wow.
Yummy.
Wow, yummy. Just a hint of cinnamon and a whole lot of rich chocolate. Now, what do you think of that?
I think that looks yummy enough to eat.
I
Let's
think that
dig
looks
in.
yummy. I think Doreen had a good idea. This was a great recipe, guys. Angela, I promised you this was going to be rich and hot.
Oh,
Tori!
Hey.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Home from college.
I smelled this all the way in Atlanta, so I had to come up.
Okay, good idea. Tori, there you go, honey. The third generation gets the cake. 3 generations, a great recipe. Bye-bye. It's great to have you home, sweetheart.
Hi folks, I'm Sherry Martin. Tonight on Heart of the Home, my daughter Angela is visiting my new kitchen, and this will be our first time cooking here together. We're going to tell you a secret. We don't know how to operate this new stove, and it took us 30 minutes to figure out how to turn one on, but we're going to prepare a meal. She's prepared this for me many times. It was a good friend's recipe. Absolutely love it, but I didn't know how simple it was. So this week we talked about it, and she said, Mom, I can do that in 3 minutes, so we're going to do it, and you will love this one. And it's a company's coming recipe, or feed it to your family and make it simple. You will love this one. Angela, tell them the ingredients.
The ingredients are, you want boneless chicken breast, you want chopped spinach, frozen packages are fine, cream cheese, you want 2 packages of those, then you want 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, you want 1 beef bouillon cube, some minced garlic, salt and pepper, garlic salt, and a little EVOO. And that's it. You're ready to go.
Well, Angela, we've got the cubed chicken. Let's put it on. Let's cook my chicken up, what, 5 minutes? And yours will cook 7 minutes maybe?
I take the whole breast and then I cut it in half with just my kitchen scissors. And while I've got my chicken going and my EVOO, little garlic, salt and pepper, then I also put my water on the boil, drop my 2 big cubes of frozen chopped spinach in there. I don't usually go by the directions. I just stir it up, and I've also got my beef bouillon cube in there. Stir it until it breaks apart and looks done. It's common sense. Just give it a little stir. When the pieces come apart, it's ready to go. Then you're going to drain that spinach really well to get all your water out.
So you use a colander.
Use a colander. Press it out with a spoon. Make sure we get it completely dry, because we're going to be adding cheese to that. And we don't want a watery mix. We want it real cheesy.
Angela, you got your spinach drained good. That looks great. Now you're going to add the cream cheese.
We're going to add 2 blocks of the
2 blocks of cream cheese. And we're going to add the cheddar cheese.
2 cups.
2 cups of cheddar cheese. We're bringing the spinach and the cheese. We're just warming it up a little bit. Going to dissolve everything together, and then we're going to add this wonderful hot chicken to it. Just work the cheese until everything is melted down. And these flavors together are absolutely incredible. This is simple, and I think it's going to impress people. What
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now what we're doing, we're putting the biggest half of the breast down, and we're just going to pack it with the filling, which is our spinach and cheese. Then we're going to put the small part of the breast on top. We're going to put some more of the spinach and cheese, just a little bit this time. Kind of mash it out. Then we're going to cover it with some shredded.
Wow.
We're going to pop this in the oven, let this cheese melt, and then serve it up.
In the oven for what, 5 to 7 minutes?
Sure.
There you go.
We're going to take our little chicken bites for our family dish. We're just going to slightly drain them off a little bit, and we're going to throw them into our other spinach and cheese mixture.
Oh, it smells so good.
And this is the easy part. We're just going to mix all this together, throw it in a casserole dish.
I am so impressed. This was so simple. It smells delicious, and I know from past experience it tastes delicious. And thanks for sharing this wonderful recipe. It was a simple one, and it was an elegant one. Tune in again next week, Heart of the Home. We'll see you then.
Y'all, you got to try that recipe. You've got to try that recipe. I'm going to make myself try that recipe. I haven't done it in a while, and it is one of those things, if you like spinach and you like cheese and you like chicken, you're going to fall in love with that dish. And it is one of those things, you can dress it up with doing the chicken breast like Angela did it, or you can do it in the chunky little pieces, which is great for family, because then the next day you can bring leftovers for lunch, and you could even share it with your office staff because there's plenty of it. But I will tell you, it disappears quickly. Folks love it, and it is super simple, but it is almost an elegant dish. Really, really good. And that actually, the recipe came from Angela's mother-in-law, who is a very, very good cook, a German lady who did some very unique things, and I love that recipe. It's one of those that everybody needs to try. Now, I'll tell you something else we got to try. We've got to get the word out about how amazing Mr. Ellijay's CD is, because it has the stuff that I requested, except a few of the songs. And I said, where did that come from? And he said, well, that was in the roller rink days. So, okay, that's what he did in the roller rink days. Is there anybody out there watching who remembers those roller rink days? Were you there in the audience as he and his group was playing? He was a little skinny kid, and he was up on stage and had been performing since he was a little skinny kid. But he loved that period of his life. Every time you talk to him about music, he goes back to that period of his life. Very, very important time in music. The Beatles had hit the stage. Elvis had been the best forever, and then here come the Beatles, and the Beatles produced some amazing music, and folks fell in love with it. So the variety of music in these mountains changed. Yeah, mountain folk were listening to the Beatles. Mountain folk were listening to Motown. The music that we grew up with is so very diversified. And when we look at the music of today, they had a sold-out concert at Georgia Mountain Fair this weekend, Travis Tritt. Now, I remember Travis Tritt as a little bitty kid, just a kid starting out in the music business, and he did a song that I love. Here's a quarter called Someone Who Cares. I love that song. He had so many songs that people identified with and related to, and this week at Georgia Mountain Fair, you could tell folks were relating to Travis Tritt and his music. That's timeless music. It will be here forever. But I noticed he's getting white hair and white beard. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How could that kid who did music all around the local clubs in Marietta be an adult now? He's not only an adult, he's getting to be an older adult. But the place was packed. Everybody was excited. And I'm so glad, because that is one of those things. We need to support these local. He was just a local guy, and now all of a sudden he's packing the houses. He's been packing the houses for years. But that's what it takes. You got to get the music out there, and you gotta sell it. You got to push it. You got to do it. So we're going to take you now to some of Dwight Sanford's favorite music. He chose many of the songs. I chose some of the songs. And I can tell you, my favorite, I made him put them on a CD just for me. I said, I just want my favorites, because I like that stuff that reminds me of these mountains. Sit back and let's see what Tracy's got for y'all today.
Smoky Mountain memories about my home in Tennessee. Memories keep calling me home. Mountains rising in my soul, higher than the dreams I've known. Misty-eyed they cling to me by Smoky Mountain memories. An old gray man with a dog asleep at his feet plays a worn-out fiddle full of melodies. He smiled with his eyes, but the lines on his face told me more than the tunes he played. We're talking about my Smoky Mountain memories. Pretty girl from Tennessee. I was such a fool to leave her all alone. I think about her in my dreams and wonder if she thinks of me. I'll always hold her close to me in my Smoky Mountain memories. So, mister, play your fiddle, please. Play some mountain memories. I've been down a lonely nothing left to hold on to. I made some plans, but they fell through. Now there's nothing left for me but my Smoky Mountain memories. Smoky Mountain memories about my home in Tennessee. Memories keep calling me home. Mountains rising in my soul, higher than the dreams I've known. I can't get away from all my Smoky Mountain memories. Talking about my Smoky Mountain memories. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. I'm driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads. There's a storm across the valley, clouds are rolling in. The afternoon lies heavy on softly burning, supper's on the stove, and the light in your eye keeps him warm. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. There's all the news to tell him. How'd you spend your time? And what's the latest thing the neighbors say? Your mommy called last Friday. Sunshine makes her cry. You felt the baby move just yesterday. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. And all the time that I can lay this tired old body down and feel your fingers feather soft upon me. The kisses that I live for, the love that lights my way, and the happiness that living with you brings me. It's the sweetest thing I know of, just spending time with you. It's the little things that make a house a home, like a fire softly burning, supper on the stove, and the light in your eye keeps me warm. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good like a good idea way back when. But I'm wondering now what daydream took me in. And I'm looking for a reason to stay. I'm all wound up and tied in knots today. I'm looking for a reason not to go. But when the morning comes, I'll be on my way. Yesterday I tried once more to find a way to share the trouble on my mind. It seems like you turn away every time. I used to like it here, I can't remember why. And I'm looking for a reason to stay. Yeah, I'm all wound up and tied in knots today. I'm looking for a reason not to go. When the morning comes, I'll be on my way. I'm looking for a reason to stay. Hey, I'm all wound up and tied in knots.
Got a new mic, and there's your. That's what happens with live TV. That's why we love live TV so much. Live TV so much. All right, I want to read something. I told you, everybody says, "How did you get through what you got through?" And I'm going to tell you how I got through it. So I want you to enjoy this beautiful picture of the mountains, and just think about this. People would come to me and say, "Well, you handle it so well. You look like you're doing great." No, I didn't. I went insane. I lost spark. I bled in silence. I was shattered in private, and I wore a smile that lied better than any mask could. There were many, many days that I was here on television absolutely about to lose my mind, because all I could think about was my daughter should be sitting by me and we should be having fun together. We know that that changed, but I had to move on with my life. And one of the ways that I did it was through you. And going places, going to events, being at the Georgia Mountain Fair, doing interviews. Fiddler's Convention was at the Georgia Mountain Fair. It is now in Blairsville at the High School Performing Arts Center. And I want to encourage each of you, if you love the music that we feature often here on ETC, it includes fiddles. There is going to be a competition on the 21st, and this is the Fiddler's Convention. It has been, used to be at the Georgia Mountain Fair, but now it's at the high school in Blairsville, just off Highway 515. And it is again Saturday the 21st. It's an all-day event. ETC will be there doing, they're going to be recording parts of it, and you will get to see it here, but we would love to have you come out in person and see these fiddlers. ETC probably wouldn't have made it as long as we did if we hadn't had the music of the mountains. The music of the mountains got us started here, and it was these local fiddlers, these local steel players, these local guys who were writing music as they sat on their porch in an old straight back chair. That's what basically grounded ETC in the music environment, and it was amazing to see y'all here at the studio. You still get to see that, and especially on Saturday nights. I love the Saturday night shows because it really takes us back to some of the old time stuff. That's what built this studio. That's why we're here today. I feel very fortunate to be carrying on the tradition with the local music. So Brett Cantrell, we love you and we love your family. Please get out and support the Fiddlers Convention. His family was instrumental in why the music made it here at Ellijay. And that's part of this community. That's what we're about. So don't forget, on the 21st, it's a Saturday. It will be all day. You could get there early in the morning and stay all day, or you could go at noon and get to see all the highlights of everything. So just get out and support these local musicians. There's so many people who have written amazing songs. And I was reading something from a young lady. I'm going to call her today and see if we can get her up here. She was in Nashville this weekend, and she said, you know, I'm nobody in Nashville. And I thought, no, you're amazing. She is so amazing, but she let the negativity of something hit her. And when she said, you know, I'm just a little nobody in Nashville. No, you're never a nobody. So we hope to have her on the program soon. She's from Cherokee County. There's much local talent in these mountains, and we want to share it with you. So we enjoy bringing those people here and letting them have just an opportunity to share what they do. So if you're great at doing something, pick up the phone and call me. If you're an amazing, I love steel guitar players. There's something about it. I might have left and run off with a steel guitar player because I just love what they do. There's going to be a good steel player here in the near future. Tim Hamilton is going to be with us as we celebrate the Georgia Mountain Fair and their 75th anniversary. So Miss Linda Autry will be here, Tim will be here, and it's going to be exciting. These mountains are filled with amazing talent. Please support them any chance you get. It's time for me to get out of here. I've got a little trip planned. I'll tell you about it tomorrow or Wednesday. It's a little daycation, and I'm headed to a place I dearly love. I'll see you again soon.